Alright, so this video right here is just pretty much me talking about characters I just love to write. Just some characters I would absolutely love to write about, or write, fan fiction or comic or something about them, something that has them in either the spotlight or just characters I just absolutely would love to write. And first and foremost is, you can see right here, the Joker. I think everyone at one point in their life, if you want to be a writer, especially for comic books, I think everyone can say, I'd love to write the Joker. Even if he's not one of your favorite villains or Batman villains, I think everyone would have fun, taking a crack at doing their own take on the Joker, because as Grant Morrison kind of established in Arkham Asylum, A Serious Place on a Serious Earth, the Joker, pretty much, you can write him anyway, because apparently how the Joker's mind works is that he reboots himself every day to be this new kind of character. So he's a very versatile one as well. And, yeah, there's so many ways you can play up the Joker. You can have him this ha-ha, very comedy sketch person, or you can do like the Scott Snyder approach, or he's just and Frank Miller approach, where he's just this very creepy, very much like a slasher villain. He is coming to get you, and he's that monster in your closet. How I like my Joker, and how I would write the Joker, is very much in the vein of how Paul Dini and all the cast and crew of Batman, the '90s cartoon, wrote it. Because I think that's like that's really how I would see that. That's really how I saw the Joker, is where he's having a good time, but he's unpredictable. He can switch from being this very ha-ha guy to just snapping to this very creepy person. Kind of like, how can I put this? It's kind of like Mark Wahlberg's character in the movie Fear. That's how it's kind of like. I know that's a weird comparison, but that's how I kind of see it. Where he can just he'd be like, oh, he'll either kill you or give you $20. Oh, he'll probably kill you, but. But absolutely, I would love to write the Joker somewhat like that, or even go for something just a little more creepy. As my friend Shades at Night said, he's always preferred creepy Joker. He's never been a fan of, the whole ha-ha, very funny Joker. He's been more of the fan of, the very, sadistic, very psychologically disturbed Joker. And that's cool. When you write it right, because sometimes it could just come off like, oh, you're just trying to write Freddy Krueger, aren't you? But there has been times where it has been done really well. So, in that regard, yes, I would like to write something like that. But Joker, even though, like most of you guys know, Joker isn't my #1 favorite Batman villain, but he's in the top 5. And I think out of even though he's not my all-time #1 favorite, he's, like I said, on the top 5. I think I would just have the most fun writing the Joker, because he's just that kind of character where I think everyone would be like, oh yeah, Joker. Sweet, yeah. I'd love to write a Joker's. I think everyone who's written Batman has kind of and this is just me. I don't speak for everyone. I'm not speaking for anyone in DC Comics or anyone who's worked on Batman before. But I think someone at some point in their lives, I think someone in comic book business is like, this is a character I think I'd have a lot of fun writing. But that's just how I view it, because sometimes you really get writers who write a very oddball Joker who's just kind of there, and then you have writers who you can clearly see from the writing how much they love doing this character. But again, that's just me. I'm not speaking for anyone. But that's just how I feel when sometimes you get a character sometimes like that. So yeah. So Joker first and foremost. Other characters I'd love to write are there's so many. I think even though that he's kind of overhyped, I think I would like to take a stab at Wolverine. Okay, no pun intended, I didn't mean to do that, but I'd really like to try at least one little story arc with Wolverine, because there's so many ways you can take him. You can make him a superhero, you can make him a vigilante, so many different ways. So, just a little bit, I'd like to say, yeah, like Wolverine, but I'd like to write him, if I could write X-Men in general, I think I'd have him more in the background, as he used to be with Claremont. And I think that's kind of the big thing. And I know if Fever Dream got to work at Marvel and they said, no, you have to put Wolverine in the forefront. And, yeah, no, but, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. But, anywho, among other things, I think in terms of other characters, I think I'd have a blast writing believe it or not, I would love to write Judge Dredd. I would love to write a Judge Dredd story. I think there'd be a lot of fun. He's very kind of, I want to say simple, because he believes in the law and nothing else. So I'd really like to write that. I'd really like to write just this. He is like he's this force of nature coming at you. That, well, not force of nature, but force of authority that is coming at you regardless of where you are. I'd really like to play up. Weirdly enough, the story I had in mind for Judge Dredd is make him like a horror character for criminals. Like just these criminals who are like these drug addicts and are banded together around like in the slums of Mega City, and they're all talking about Judge Dredd like he's a he's a monster from a slasher movie, and he's like the boogeyman to the criminals, like in the sense of Batman, but he's out killing them or sending them away, and they're just telling these horror stories about that's the one judge you don't want to fuck with. So that's what I'd really like to do with Judge Dredd, first and foremost, is make him like just make him like a monster. I think that's I would really like to do that. But there are so many characters I'd love to write. As much as I'd love to write like someone like Batman or Superman, I think the problem is that it's kind of intimidating with so much work that's been done with those characters and how long that that so much has been done with them, that I think it would be it's kind of like it's kind of weird, because I was talking about this with Mount Vernon Kid once, and we were talking about characters we'd love to write for the big two companies if we ever got a chance. And he said, I think, would you really want to write Superman? I'm like, hell no. As much as I love Superman, I can understand why he can be such an intimidating character, right? Because he's so powerful, and you're trying to juggle the powers with who he is. And the same thing with Batman, not in the sense of the powers, but there's been a lot of stories that have been done with Batman, and it's really hard not to copy them. Or try not to copy them, excuse me. So, yeah. Anywho, that's just a little bit of... this is just about a few characters that I really... excuse me, really wanted to write. Sorry, I burped and I inhaled at the same time. My apologies. Anywho, this is pretty much... I had a few more characters, but I didn't want to take a whole lot of time with this, so... Anyway, guys, you guys tell me what you guys think of this, and what characters you'd like to write. I mean, they don't have to be just comic book characters. They could be cartoon or something like that. Just let me know below. Anyway, I'm out.